Hi, I am Dr. Arvind Poswal from Dr. A's Clinic, Delhi, India. The epigenetic theory of hair loss. Today we will be talking about the process of hair loss as explained in the epigenetic theory of hair loss in greater detail. To understand hair loss, we have to understand genome and epigenome, senile cells and their effects, stem cell escape, increased porosity of root sheaths. Besides the anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry of hair follicles and their vasculature, the hair follicle or even the entire follicular unit should be considered an organ or an aggregation of similar organs. In normal condition, inheriting a gene or our genome merely indicates the susceptibility of the hair follicle to various factors that may damage it, including but not solely DHT. The hair follicle consists of stem cells in the dermal papilla as well as the bulge area. There is chemical signaling occurring continuously among different parts of the hair follicle, even when it is in the resting phase. This signaling is chemically mediated. Different enzymes are produced in various phases: anagen, catagen, or telogen. As our understanding of the cellular genetic level improves, we see how certain chemical changes or signals can act on the stem cells to increase or slow down their active multiplication. Multiplication of the stem cell and associated cells in the hair follicle ensures a healthy growing hair follicle. As these stem cells slow down or cease multiplication, we observe the hair miniaturizing and ultimately dying off. The hair follicle can be observed or visualized as a pouch, with the follicle being the content of the pouch and the walls of the pouch being made by the root sheaths. The dermal papilla, melanocytes, keratinocytes, fibroblasts, etc., all of them have a complex interaction within this tubular pouch, and all these are submerged in a protoplasm. In a healthy follicle, all the different cells are healthy and interact with other cells and the surrounding skin structures. The blood capillaries provide the necessary nutrients and gases to the cells to fuel the electrochemical reactions and maintain our overall healthy environment. It's important to remember that our hair is the fastest growing organ of the body. But there are various situations in which this happy equilibrium is disturbed. Any stress, chemical radiation or oxidative stress, can disrupt this equilibrium. Severe illness or physical stress like a severe infection can do the same. Pregnancy and childbirth, that brings changes in the hormonal composition of the blood, in which all the parts of the follicle are actually bathed. So they are influenced by our pregnancy and childbirth also. The availability of the required nutrients similarly affects the follicular health. An acute shortage of nutrients, for example, will lead to starving of the fast multiplying cells. This can be seen in hair as transition from anagen to telogen and eventually follicular miniaturization. There can be toxic chemicals. These can be exogenous or endogenous. Exogenous chemicals are in form of environmental pollutions, chemicals in diet, preservatives, chemotherapy agents, hair care products, etc. Endogenous products, on the other hand, will be produced in the body, for example, in reaction to stress, which causes cortisol level to rise. That also leads to a change in internal environment of the hair follicle. Similarly, as harmful chemicals come in, or more situations or radiations come in around the body, those things may also harm the constituent cells of the follicle. One such instance is when the melanocytes of the hair follicle turn senile. A senile melanocyte will secrete harmful cytokines that will signal nearby cells to emulate the same behavior and also turn senile. These chemicals secreted by the melanocytes, they make the general environment enclosed by the root sheath around the hair follicle non-conducive to healthy growth and multiplication of stem cells. The stem cells follow the gradient of nutrients and healthy environment and escape through the hair root sheaths. Further research is needed to identify the complete nature of the stem cell environment, both inside and outside the root sheaths. Now let's examine the hair at an even closer level, at the gene level. So TRT, telomerase reverse transcriptase. When it is present in the skin, it activates the resting hair follicle bulge stem cell. This triggers the stem cell multiplication, resulting in hair follicle growth. So here we see that TERT is the molecule responsible for signaling the hair follicle bulge stem cells to start multiplying, thereby shifting the hair from telogen to anagen. Resveratrol and fisetin were used intradermally to produce the highest expression or production of TERT in keratinocytes of the hair follicle. Resveratrol and fisetin are polyphenols that also regulate gene expression of cytokines IGF and KGF. IGF and KGF activate the beta-catenin pathway and TGF beta-1. Both of these play an important role. The exact molecular pathway still needs to be investigated, but both of them play an important role in maintaining the niche of hair follicle stem cells. The improved levels will therefore promote hair growth. Now, seen at this level, it becomes obvious that we can influence the stem cells responsible for hair growth. It also becomes clear that a wrong exposure can lead to stem cell deterioration or hair loss. On a gross level, application of resveratrol and fisetin on shaved dorsal skin of mice promoted hair growth, more length, increased diameter, and total number of actively growing hair, thus indicating a shift of hair from telogen to anagen. In humans, application of resveratrol transdermally reduces number of hair follicle pulled out in the hair pull test, again indicating shift of hair from telogen to anagen. In humans, application of resveratrol intradermally reduces the number of hair follicles pulled out in the hair pull test, signifying the shift of hair from telogen to anagen. We need to investigate whether these agents can reverse a hair partly in catagen or telogen back into the exogen without entering the exogen, back into the anagen without entering the exogen. The effect of fisetin is more pronounced than resveratrol in that it acts in two ways. We see that resveratrol is a good antioxidant. It protects the internal hair follicle environment from oxidative stress. At the same time, it increases gene expression of TERT. Fisetin, a senolytic, also increases TERT expression. In addition, its senolytic effect reduces the senile cells in scalp and hair. So fisetin acts in multiple ways, including removing the senile melanocytes. Will this reverse hair graying? Removing of the senile melanocytes, will it reverse hair graying? More research is required to confirm this. Now let us examine activity at the level of the intact cells. On the dorsal skin of mice, after application of resveratrol and fisetin, a number of proliferating cells were observed around the hair papilla. Also, it was noticed that the skin gets thickened where the polyphenols are applied, due to probably the increased blood supply and thicker hair follicles. Thus, hair follicles can be seen as complex organ in their own right, where various chemical signals affect the stem cell multiplication. This also shows that it is possible to modify these chemical signals, thereby increasing the stem cell multiplication, and as a result, hair growth. In conclusion, recent research has helped us understand the genetic and molecular mechanisms of hair loss. Accordingly, epigenome optimization or keeping our epigenome healthy should be an important part of our treatment strategy. This includes using suitable gene medicines and anti-aging supplements for the purpose. Thank you.